This is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Celebrities. D.L. Hughley specifically is who I'm mostly talking to or about in this video, who I have much respect for, and I think he's a very intelligent guy, and I think he, he's a serious person when it comes to, like, politics and, like, the nature of what's going on in the news and with government and all that kind of stuff. Like, he's a pretty smart guy. I do disagree with him on some things, and that's what I'm going to discuss right now. So, there was a VLADTV interview that D.L. Hughley did that they recently have been releasing clips of. And in one of the interviews, he basically is saying that everybody who didn't want to vote for Hillary in the general election against Trump, that he's kind of making the Bill Maher argument that, bet you wish you had a voted for Hillary now, like, because of all the dumb stuff that Trump's doing, right? So he was basically, he also said that you can't blame Hillary Clinton for the stuff that Bill did when he was in office, because Bill is not Hillary, and Hillary wasn't a member of government at the time. Okay. So those were basically his two main arguments. He was saying you can't blame Hillary for the stuff Bill did when he was in office because she wasn't a government member at that time. She was just his wife. And because Trump is so terrible, I bet you wish you had voted for Hillary. Those are essentially his two main arguments, to which I say no. Guess what I just found out yesterday? I just found out that Hillary was against DACA also. Yeah. Everyone's all like, oh my God, Donald Trump, he's going to deport all these kids and all these people who, they just wanted to make a life for themselves in the United States. And, they're kids. It wasn't their fault that their parents brought them here, and Trump's kicking them out, and that's unfair. Yes, 100%. I agree with all of that. Guess what? I heard audio yesterday of Hillary Clinton saying that she would send the kids back to their home countries too. She said that we have too many people coming up from Central America, and that we would find an adult guardian of the kids once they got here, and we would send them back to where they belong, essentially. Like, that's what she said. So DACA that's not for, Hillary didn't support DACA either. So we're looking at Trump like he's this bad guy. If Hillary was in office, same thing would have happened. She said it. 2, everyone's scared about the war with North Korea. Replace North Korea with Syria, same story if Hillary was in office. Replace North Korea with Russia, same story if Hillary was in office. Maybe not nuclear war. War for sure. She wanted to escalate in Syria. She wants to escalate basically everywhere in the Middle East still. Hillary is a hawk. There's really no nice way to say that. But I don't think that people give Hillary enough credit for how bad she is. Like, I think people really feel like, if Hillary was president, things would be so much better. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be better. In fact, I think they would be worse. And here's why I say that. Of course, domestic policy-wise, Hillary Clinton would be way better than Donald Trump. She's not going to sympathize with fucking Nazis and white supremacists and, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, she'd be better on those type of issues. I don't think there's any debate there. I don't think transgender people would be banned from the military. I don't think. So, yes, there are some things, obviously, that Hillary would be better on. Would she be better on the environment? I don't know. I don't think she would have pulled out of the Paris Agreement, but she was the #1 pusher of fracking, basically, in the world when she was either Secretary of State or a senator. I believe Secretary of State. Double check me. I'm not sure. So, I honestly don't think people give Hillary enough credit for being as bad as she actually is. Like, she's a really bad politician. She's a bad candidate. She has bad policies. You know? And the other thing that D.L. Hughley said, which I want to address, is well, she's not Bill. True, she's not Bill. But when you say she wasn't a member of government when Bill was, okay, she was the first lady. What other first ladies do you know? At least in my lifetime, I can't go back too far. Obviously, I'm 30 years old, you know. So the elections that I remember are basically the second time Clinton won and forward. That's what I remember. Like, I was around when he won the first time, but I didn't really know what that meant. You know what I mean? I was like, 5 years old, 6 years old, something like that. So, you know, I didn't know what that meant at the time. The second time, I was a little bit more in the know. I was going to school. You know, we had social studies class and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I started figuring stuff out a little bit. So here's the thing. I don't know any more outspoken first ladies than Hillary Clinton. Michelle Obama, when she was first lady, the only thing I really remember her doing was trying to implement the whole healthy food in school thing. That's all I ever really remember her trying to implement policy for. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever remember her commenting on really anything else. Like, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember Michelle Obama coming out making concrete statements about the job that that her husband Barack was doing, as far as policy decisions go. She left that to him. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas, now I'm sure behind closed doors they were discussing stuff and all of that kind of stuff, but she never was out here publicly flexing her opinion around. You see what I'm saying? I don't remember Laura Bush ever doing that. She was quiet for the most part. So the only first lady I ever remember coming out strongly on policy positions was Hillary. So when you throw yourself into the lion's den, so to speak, you're just as liable and you're just as you're able to be scrutinized to the same degree. Okay? You're throwing yourself in that mix, so you're allowed, like, I'm allowed to scrutinize you if you're gonna make your opinions public, right? So that's the main difference between her and most other first ladies. Second of all, D.L. Hughley, Hillary was a government member. She was a senator and she was a Secretary of State under Obama. She voted for the Iraq War. She pushed fracking all over the world. She lobbied for TPP 45 times. For those that don't know what TPP is, it's NAFTA, but it allows corporations to basically have equal footing as governments in any given country. So they can sue basically governments for future lost wages, or just regulations / protections that they don't feel are financially beneficial to them. And then there's like a big, like an executive board essentially of people. It's like a court. It's like a world court that they would go to. But the world court is also ran by the CEOs and the presidents of these companies. So it's just an unequal footing. Corporations can just go in and basically say, we're ignoring all of your environmental protection laws. And they'd be allowed to do that under TPP. So she lobbied for that 45 times. You know, the crime bill in the 90s, you know, she was a huge supporter of that. We all know about the super predators comment. So look, my point is, let's stop pretending like because Trump is so bad, that means we should have voted for Hillary and things would be so much better. They really wouldn't. And the reason why I say, if anything, things would be worse is because we would get very, very similar policies economically as well as foreign policy wise. We'd get very, very, very similar results out of Hillary Clinton as we're getting out of Trump. She would have just made it look better. And not only that, but everybody is, the level of awareness in this country right now is amazing. And that typically doesn't, I don't notice that after people get elected. Usually it's like maybe a month or two, especially with younger people, millennials, my people. We never cared about politics that much. Like, and here's what I mean by that. We voted for Obama after it was announced, he got the 270 plus electoral college votes. Barack Obama will be your next president. We celebrated. And then that was it. Nobody talked about it anymore after that because it was just like, all right, it's over now. That's what I remember basically being how it went. It's September. He got elected back in January. Or I'm sorry, not elected. He was sworn in January. So it's been 8 months. And people are still very politically aware. People are hitting the streets protesting. People are posting stuff on social media. People are going to rallies. People are, going to these speeches. People are making videos, putting them out on YouTube. There's more political videos than I've ever seen before. Like, it's really, to use a religious term, it's a blessing in disguise, Trump. Because obviously he's horrible. We know that. But, again, I ask this question. If Hillary Clinton won, do you think we would see this level of activism? I don't think so. I think everybody would have went right back to normal. Nobody would be paying attention to the stuff that Hillary's doing. And we would have been right back to square one. And then we would have got another version of Trump in 2020. So this is a blessing in disguise. Yes, he's doing horrible things. Like, we can talk about that. But let's not act like things would have been peachy keen, right, if Hillary was in office. Because it wouldn't have been. It just wouldn't have. Period. Like, a lot of those same policies would have got passed. But it would have been done so much more quiet because people wouldn't be paying as much attention. But right now, they're paying a lot of attention because people don't trust Trump. Which you shouldn't. You absolutely should not. And anybody who voted for him, I hope you feel like an idiot. Because you're responsible for this. I'm responsible for the stuff that Obama did over those 8 years because I voted for him twice. So I'm responsible for all those bombs he dropped on people overseas, the tax cuts that George Bush passed that he made permanent. I'm responsible for that because I helped put him in office. That's why I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton this time, because if she won, I didn't want that to be on my conscience. Because I know all the messed up stuff that she's going to do, and I didn't want to be responsible for that. So I voted for Jill Stein. So you have to take a stand at some point against the stuff that you don't like. You can't just keep going. If a bully comes up to you every single day and he's like, yo, I'm going to punch you in the chest as hard as I can, or I'm going to punch you in the leg as hard as I can, you pick. Eventually, you're either going to swing back and say, no, you're not going to hit me at all, or your chest and your legs, so either that or your chest cavity is going to cave in one day, or your leg's going to cave in one day. And right now, what we're seeing is the Democrats are caving in because people don't like what they have to offer, which is what? They don't even have anything to offer. They're not offering anything, and that's why they lost also, because they didn't offer anything. All they said was, hey, we're not as bad as that guy, so don't vote for him. He was out here talking about trade. He was out here talking about Hillary's corruption. He was out here talking about how the TPP was bad. He was talking about American protectionism, keeping jobs here. Now, I didn't believe him when he said any of that stuff, but enough people did, obviously, to where here he is. So, I just really think the Democrats just need to, learn from the people who are telling you what we want. Like, watch Jimmy Dore's show. Watch Kyle Kulinski Secular Talk. Watch me. Watch Tim Black. Watch The Progressive Voice. Watch, TYT Politics, Jordan Sheridan and Nomiki Konst and all of them. Like, watch them Aggressive progressives on TYT. Watch them. We're telling you what the people want. We have the numbers to back it up. So it's unreasonable for you to think that you can win and not implement these policies, because this is what progressives want. The right wing, you know, they want what they want already, and that's why Trump is able to capitalize. Like, their base is never going anywhere. But progressives, we change our minds with new information being presented to us. We don't just stick to, you know, one line of thought because it makes us comfortable. That's not what we do as progressives. That's what conservatives do. That's why they're conservative, because they don't want change. They want things to conserve. They want to conserve the way things are. That's the whole point. Whereas progressives, we want progress. So we're looking for change constantly. Give us what we want, or you're never gonna win. Period.